So we're continuing our discussion on the record navigation feature pack, and we've added a slider now, but the message that is showing up here on the slider isn't yet very informative. So let's go back to design mode and then edit this action. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say include additional keys to describe the primary key. So we've gone now to the server and we've retrieved the primary key for the first 1000 records in the query, but we don't have any description that describes what the primary key is. So I'm going to go here and say define additional keys, and I'm going to go there and I'm going to choose my expression, and I'm going to go here and insert field, and I'm going to choose, say, the last name field, but I'd actually like to concatenate last name and first name. So I'm going to go back there and choose a function, and I'll choose the concatenate function, which is this function over there. So I want to concatenate last name, then I want to have a comma and a space, and then I want first name. So I'll go there now and I'll choose first name, and close paren over there, and I'll give this a title called name. So now we've created a description for the primary keys, and then let's go back now and display it. So now you can see that as I move my record slider around, I'm getting a meaningful description of the record that I would be on if I were to go ahead and drop the slider at that point. So let's quickly go back and look at some of the other options that we have for the slider. So go back to edit the action. So we can also specify that the slider message should be dismissed when the slider loses focus, which I'll just quickly turn on. And then we have some client-side JavaScript events that get called when the slider is moved or when the slider value is dropped. So this gives you some finer control over what happens when the user moves the slider. So let's go back now and check this out. So you can see now that I don't see the message because my mouse isn't over the slider, but as soon as I move my mouse over the slider, the message shows up, and now I can move it over there, and then when I move my mouse away, the message goes away. So that's a nice visual effect that you can add. So let's go back now, and I'm going to turn off the hide message. And now what I'm going to do next is add in the list view control. So let's save this now, and what I'd like the list view control to show up on the left. So I'm going to take all of the controls that we have right now and put them in a container. So let's go there and say container begin, and then I'm going to go and create another container which I'm going to move to the left of this current container. So if I want it to be on the left of the current container, I just turn off that break so that there's the two containers are side by side. And now inside this container I'm going to go and put a placeholder control, and I'm going to just call it list view. So now I have a placeholder that is to the left of this container, but there's nothing in that there's nothing there yet. So now I'm going to go back to server-side controls, go back here, go back and edit my action, and now I'm going to turn on the list view. So I'll say yes, and then choose the placeholder where that list view is positioned. So I'll go there and choose list view, and I'll leave the height and width at their default sizes. So let's go there now and go back to working preview, and now you can see that we have our list to the left of the dialog itself, and I can navigate in the list, and everything is synchronized. So you can see now that we've very easily added quite a bit of functionality to the record navigation functionality of the dialog. But let's pause now and pick this up in the next video.